tell us about Mightier Than The Sun. Screened at the film festival this year, 37 minutes in length, which had me sort of caught in an in-between world when I heard that, because I'm like, 37 minutes, as you had rightly said, it's not quite a short film, but 37 minutes is not quite a feature length either. So Mightier Than The Sun, what is it about? I've heard some commentary saying that is it just another film about Indian people in the cane? And why do this movie at this point in time? Why make your directorial debut with Mightier Than The Sun? What is special about it that spoke to you for you to know with certainty this was going to be your graduation?
The thing is, Mightier Than The Sun was brought to me, the script was brought to me by Peony, Arnold Goindhan, who was the actor on it. It don't make sense me saying lead actor because there are only two actors, man and woman.
Right.
And so it's Arnold Goindhan and Kala Neehall. And he brought this script to me. We actually saw a theater staged reading, a stage play, of Mightier Than The Sun at UE when they had their directing 101 or directing showcase. Marvin Dowrich directed it, and it was Peony and Sintaiki Bishop. And so I actually got to see, before I read the script, I got to see a play version. So it's almost like I got to make up in my mind very quickly what I liked from what I didn't like. As far as choosing this play for my directorial debut, the thing is, you fall for the work. It's not sitting down saying what is going to be your debut. The work is what inspires. So you could sit down and say, I want to do a comedy first. Then you have to go and find that comedy. The fact is, the script found me. I didn't go looking for the script. It found me. So I didn't want to miss the opportunity to do it. And it was simple, because what Raymond would say was, do something simple and do it well. So this is 2 actors, 1 room. And I could go into a whole bunch of critique, whatever, which I got from the film professionals in Trinidad about it. But I wouldn't go into it, because it makes no sense to me. And the luxury of working with 2 very good actors, that, you would hear terms flying around Hollywood about an actor's director, because you want to work with the actors. You want the story to come out from the actors, as opposed to camera 1, camera 2, lights and this, that, and costume. No, this was a simple production. We spent the most amount of time in rehearsal. So I rehearsed it like a play. The actors knew their lines back to front. I knew the lines. I didn't hold a script for the entire time shooting. They didn't have to really hold a script, unless you get a little confused sometimes. We just knew. So then all we had to work out when we were shooting was camera 1. Well, there was only 1 camera. Camera 1 and about 7 takes. Because then because again, low budget. I don't mind saying this. I did this film for a little bit of money. And that's what makes, that's what I'm proud of, that the work got done with the odds stacked against you. It's not about trying to do an avatar for your first movie. So then if I don't have the avatar budget, and I'm not going to do CGI and these kind of things, what then you have to rely on? The actors. You have to rely on your actors to tell the story. Tony Hall, who I miss dearly, because after Raymond left, that Tony Hall was kind of like the person I was bouncing a lot of ideas off of. And up until the week of Tony's demise, his heart attack, I was supposed to meet with him, because there was so much little tidbits of information that I got from Tony as well. And a simple thing was, the bulk of the director's job is casting. After you cast properly, you work less. All now you have to do is fine tune. But if you're cast shitty, then you will struggle. You will struggle as a director, because you need to be able to see what the actor could give before they even see it. Because you have to know that script better than anybody else. Because everybody else on a production coming at you, everybody is seeing things you didn't see. And it's like, calm down, I saw it. I will get to that just now, dealing with something else. So, what's the hard part about Raymond not being here is that I don't get to humble myself and look Raymond in the eye and tell him, you were right about everything I was arguing you with. And that's a hard thing, because it was me and Raymond used to battle, and it would spill out in a rehearsal, it could spill out otherwise, and because I'm fighting from a place of being a novice, and he's fighting from a place of being fixed in his ways. And it was something you could say it was unfair to each other that we didn't understand each other's positions all the time. But I can't go back and look at him and say, sorry, I was wrong. Because everything I'm dealing with here right now, I've dealt with Raymond. So my production team, which I pulled together, a group of very, very, very good team members, that I could look at them and tell them when things are going to go awry, and then they have to just experience it, then they realize, oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So you find yourself in that Raymond Chukong role, where you're speaking
in the director's role.
Yes.
Because I wasn't the director before. So Raymond never saw me direct. He might have given me a scene or two, or when he wasn't at rehearsals, I would start rehearsals before. And I said to the cast, after our first production back after Raymond's death, I said to them, here, what? Raymond is no longer here to protect us. We have to be better than we were when Raymond was here. Because we have nobody to defend us. You have nobody to block the negatives. Because then, again, me now being in the position I am in, you realize how much you have to actually protect your cast and your production team from a lot of nonsense coming at you. And it's like, they have people who don't even try telling you, you did this wrong, you did that. People tell me about the film, oh, you should have put flashbacks and this, that, and the other. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to put flashbacks. I wanted the camera to focus, go close up on Carla or Peony, look into their eyes while they're telling you, this happened to me, that happened to me, and then take the journey with them. So the cameras, one of my decisions was not to put it on a tripod, to just have it floating around. And then as it's floating around, it pulls you in because it's not steady. The audience never really gets to relax watching this. Because imagine your eyes are not steady. You think they're steady because of the dimensions in which you look at. But if I zoom in on you here and I start to move, all of a sudden it's not steady anymore. So that brings the audience in. And the director of photography, Romano Francois, did that guy is one of the nicest people I know, and I will work with him from now until. And he gave me what I wanted. The actors gave me what I wanted. There was nothing in there, minus the flaws that I know as a first-time director, because we know what quality is. We go to cinema, we watch Netflix, we do this, we do that, we do the other. So we know what quality is. So I know what my film is shy of. But at the end of the day, this is what I wanted. So then don't come and tell me, you should have done this, you should have done that. It looks too theatrical as opposed to a film. When you look at some of the work that is coming out of Trinidad, it needs refining. And this is why I could say my production, Mightier Dan De Sun, needs a little refining. Budget constraints. But if I had a bigger budget, I would have polished things a little better. Right, that's my growth to overcome. We have to ask ourselves honestly, and this is a lot of what comes out of my mouth is stuff I learned from Raymond. So you might have heard this along the way as well. And we have to be honest. Is the work we're putting out to the quality that we should be demanding the same view from abroad, or even our own citizens? Is the work we are putting out as good as that? We watch Netflix. We go to cinema. We pirate everything online and we watch it. So we know what is good. Now, can we do it? We may not have the technicals, like a blockbuster film or a Broadway play. We might not have the technicals. But what we could do, what we could have is the acting. So this is why it goes back to what I was saying to the actors. Raymond is not here to protect us anymore. We have to be better than we were when Raymond was alive. The acting, the performance. So whether it's a dance, whether it's singing a song, like Helen Camps. Helen Camps trained Raymond. And what she would say is, I would paraphrase. I can't remember the exact words she would say. But it's like, if a singer is singing a song so pretty, I will fall asleep. You have to put something in that to hold my attention. So that's where you get all the craft. Acting, singing, dancing. You have the craft. And then what do you bring to it?
You mentioned talent. Tell me, as best as you can and as concisely as you can,
oh God, no.
about the talent in Mightier Dan De Sun. You called two names, Kala Neehall and Arnold Goindhan. Tell me about them. Why them for this project?
Because they're the only two who could do it. Oh, you want I thought you said you wanted concise. You lie. You was a liar. No, that's what it boils down to. Arnold, the guy who wrote the script is called Anthony Blackburn. He's an English national. He lived in Trinidad for a decade plus. And he is also an English teacher. He wrote this script. Arnold read for it a decade ago. So Peony has known about this work for the longest while. It's a weird script. So not any and everybody wants to pick it up. Because it's not a happy ending story, it's not a tragedy. It's weird. I call, like seniors, elders in my community, in my industry, and I call them and they're like, Trevon, this weird, It's good, but it's weird. Which I don't mind. That's what an indie film is. Or an independent film. And he wrote this play, and I think he wrote it for Peony. Peony, I, as an Indian male myself, could look at what Peony did and be like, I couldn't do better than Peony. That's my honesty. I couldn't do better than Peony. And Kala was the missing piece of the puzzle because we wanted an East Indian actor. We don't say actress anymore. Actor. Like doctor, right? So actor. That she was like the missing link. So she only started working with Raymond 2016. She started acting 2015. She's one of the best actors of my generation. And this could have been any race. It could have been any race. The embellishment I put the East Indian thing in there. And especially because Peony is playing the lead. So it looks like it was written for an East Indian couple. No, we made it so. When it was originally staged in UE, Peony was the guy and Sintaiki was the woman and she's black. So it had a different connotation. I put in a little religion. I put in a little Hinduism inside of there, and I used the Husay drums, which is Muslim. I can't remember which sect of the Muslims, but I play Shiite, right? And I play drums for Husay, and that's part of me being a St. James boy. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. That's part of me being a St. James boy. It has nothing to do with religion for me. But what I do understand about the drums is the drums mourning. It's not a celebration. So, okay, you have these drums that are mourning, and then you have the situation that these people are in because there's great loss in the film. So I bring in those drums. And the drums are, if you know what you know about the history of Husay, then that once you hear those drums in the beginning, that actually informs a lot going on in the film. So there are a lot of Easter eggs inside of there that I don't think any one person could unpack all of that by themselves.
So this is what you were talking about earlier when you said that Raymond encouraged you to add layers to each of the characters. So you're adding layers to the characters, but also to the makeup of everything else in the background.
Well, that's what the director does.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if the director doesn't bring something to the script, then the writer might as well direct it himself. You know, the director has the luxury, but I didn't interfere with any of the script. That was one of the agreements, because I liked it as is. I embellished things. And then, let's say I wasn't completely happy with how a line was crafted. It's not to throw away the line. Get the actor to change their interpretation, refer to the other actor who you're playing against, and then you just take it from there. So even without changing a line, I could change the entire interpretation of the line. So it's not, you have to bring something to the table as the director. So if somebody else was to direct this piece, you would get something else as well. So you change one component in any artistic endeavor, one component being one person, things will change. You are supposed to bring yourself into your craft. If you are working as a sound person, if you're working as a camera person, yes, you will say, oh, the camera just moved. But camera 1 guy operating and camera 2 guy operating, they might move differently. But only the director will see that. You know what I mean?